I saw this quote today that said, "We walk upon the ash of ancient stars." It resonated with me. I really liked that quote because not only do we walk upon the ash of ancient stars, quite literally, we are the ash of ancient stars. And although this is not a concept the Sumerians would have even begun to conceive, I'm going to show you how to write it in Sumerian anyway. I'm going to give you two translations. First, I'm going to give you "From the ashes of ancient stars we came forth." This was the easier of the two for me to do. And this is also going to demonstrate of one of the nuances how they dealt with polyphony. So let's go line by line and analyze this morphologically. So the top line is a Sumerian genitive construction, and when we analyze this morphologically, we're looking at this. Namor, this means ash or embers, and next to this we have mol, which means star, but it's reduplicated for definitive plurality. Next, sumun inherently means old or ancient and is modifying stars, or star reduplicated. Then right next to that we have the genitive case marker itself, and you'll notice that it's inside brackets there. All of what you see there within the brackets is what they like to call the nomen rectum, or the receiving noun. This is the possessor of the head noun. The head noun, the nomen regens, is the possessed. And in this context, that happens to be ashes, and attached to it is the ablative case marker right on the end there. The ablative case marker in this context denotes a motion away from. And so the top line says, "From the ashes of ancient stars." Now let's analyze the second line. Imta yenenden rolls off the tongue nicely. Morphologically, we're looking at this. So E is the vocalic prefix, and it has no independent semantic meaning at all. The reason it's being used here is because of the next following two prefixes, and I'll explain. After that, we have mu, which is the ventive prefix, and ta, which is the ablative prefix. So mu is the ventive prefix and denotes a motion towards the origin of context. But more specifically, when paired with nyen, the verbal base that we're using here, meaning to come or to go, it definitively tells us here that it means to come and not to go. And the ablative prefix, as we already discussed, denotes a motion away from. Sumerian frequently does this. It loves agreement patterns. It likes to cross-reference things from the nominal chain to the verbal chain and vice versa. However, in the verbal chain, the ablative case does not like to follow the open vowel of the ventive prefix, mu. And so the ventive prefix will defer to and fuse with the vocalic prefix e, forming the syllable im. And so we see imta rather than muta. There is one exception that I'm aware of, and that's if it's preceded by a performative like a modal prefix, specifically like the precative in this example. The only other time you might see ta attached to mu is if mu is tacked on the end of a proper noun that is working in tandem with ki, meaning from the estate of x, like in this example, or this, and there are many others of this exact type of construction. So altogether, the first four morphemes of the verbal chain are saying came from here, or rather came forth. So if you're smart and you've been paying attention, you'll notice that enden here, by process of elimination, must mean we, the first person plurality. And it absolutely does. But we don't just figure that out from the process of elimination. No, there is a very specific inflection when it comes to the person in Sumerian, and that depends on whether it's plural or singular, imperfective or perfective, transitive or intransitive, and or whether we're referring to the subject or the object. Yes, it's as complicated as it sounds. However, this specific context is referring to the first person intransitive plural subject in the perfective, definitively inflecting the verb to "we came forth" or to "we came from here." And as such, we simply use enden attached directly to the verbal stem. And so we can deduce from this, in grammatically correct English, that this translates as "from the ashes of ancient stars we came forth," or simply, "we come from the ashes of ancient stars." I mean, the great thing about Sumerian, just like any other language, there are many ways we can express this. We can get really fancy and pretentious with it. I mean, we can left dislocate it and add the adverbiative and another pronoun to the genitive construction, and use a hyper-specific nuance within the verbal chain, using the vocalic, the ventive, the middle marker, and the ablative. So if you love Sumerian grammar and you're interested in Sumerian linguistics, keep an eye out for me and or follow me on TikTok at House of the Tablet. Anta, Kisha, Munyanesh. From heaven to earth they came. It's quite a bit different to Anunnaki, isn't it?